Ever notice how you can earn a pretty penny, like $12,000 a month, yet somehow you're still stuck in that property upgrade limbo in Singapore?
Yeah, absolutely. It's like you're on the fast track with what seems like major income success. But then the property market throws this huge, unexpected hurdle right in your path.
Exactly. It's all about that hidden liquidity trap. You see, even though, on paper, a high salary suggests you're living the dream, when you try to move from, say, an HDB flat to a private condo, the math turns kind of brutal.
Right, because it's not just the monthly income that counts, but the upfront cash and CPF liquidity you need to pull it all off.
Yep. Yeah, let me break it down. It's like, you've got earning power, money flowing into your account. But purchasing power is a whole different beast, hinging on actual liquid funds like cash savings and CPF balances.
So basically, your income might look impressive, but if you haven't saved enough or built up that liquidity, you're already at a disadvantage.
Right, exactly. And here's where things get interesting. Once you sell an HDB flat, you're not literally pocketing a cool $1 million. There's that CPF refund shock, you know?
Oh yeah, you have to repay the outstanding home loan and then refund not only the principal, but also the accrued interest on your CPF funds.
Yep, right. So that $1 million asset practically shrinks down to maybe just a few $100,000 in liquid cash. And then, bam, you're suddenly confronted with the fact that for a private condo, priced at around $1.84 million, you might need like a $460,000 down payment, plus additional costs like stamp duty.
That's a massive upfront barrier. It's like having a golden ticket to a theme park, but then realizing you can't even get past the turnstile because the entry fee has jumped astronomically.
Yeah, absolutely. And what's even more frustrating is that despite earning enough to service the monthly mortgage, the liquidity needed upfront puts many households in a financial catch-22.
I mean, it's a classic case of income versus liquidity. Even if your paycheck looks stellar, it doesn't necessarily mean you have liquid cash accumulated over time to actually upgrade.
Exactly. Now, one really thought-provoking part is how Singapore's system is structured. The government policies ensure that most citizens can own a home through HDB schemes. But it's almost like a one-way door. Public housing is accessible, but it doesn't automatically pave the way for upgrades to private property.
Right, it's almost paradoxical. You have this incredible public housing success story, yet when you try to jump to the private market, all those safety nets vanish.
Absolutely. And then there's the so-called CPF refund shock. When you sell your HDB flat, the cash you end up with is drastically reduced because a large chunk goes back to CPF.
Yeah.
So the couple that seems to have a strong financial position on paper ends up with a liquidity shortfall that makes entering the private market nearly impossible without some extra help.
And that's where other factors come into play, right? Like lifestyle inflation and even the bank of mom and dad stepping in sometimes.
Exactly. Lifestyle inflation, or lifestyle creep, really eats away at that surplus cash. Even if you're earning $12,000, increased spending on things like better cars, dining out, and premium services can drain your savings before you realize it.
That's a valid point. But I wonder though, is it really fair to blame lifestyle choices completely? Isn't it also about the systemic design of the property upgrade path being, overly demanding on liquidity?
That's a good critique. I mean, it's a mix of both. The system, with its tight CPF refund rules and the high down payment requirements due to LTV limits of 75%, creates an environment where even high-income individuals can be liquidity-strapped.
Right, so in a way, it's not just personal financial discipline, but also the structural design of the property market in Singapore that's contributing to this trap.
Exactly. And let's not forget the influence of property appreciation. Even a modest 5% annual appreciation means you're chasing an increasingly expensive target. The math quickly shows that you'd need to save an extra $7,600 a month just to keep pace.
That's insane. It's like trying to hit a moving target that's always one step ahead of you.
Right. And for many households, that's simply unachievable given their current cash flow. It's less about whether you can afford the monthly mortgage and more about whether you have the capital for the down payment and additional fees.
And that raises the strategic question. Is upgrading property always the best move for building wealth?
Exactly. Yes, because if you're tied down by such extreme liquidity requirements, you might be better off looking at alternative wealth-building strategies.
I mean, consider the alternative that many wealthy investors embrace, diversifying into financial assets like stocks, bonds, or ETFs. These investments don't require that hefty upfront payment and, they provide more flexibility.
That's absolutely true. Instead of funneling nearly all your liquidity into property, you could, gradually build a sustainable portfolio of diversified assets. This approach reduces the risk of the liquidity trap and can even offer a more steady path to wealth accumulation.
But of course, property has its allure. It's tangible, and in a city like Singapore, real estate can seem like the ultimate status symbol.
True. Yes, property does have that appeal, and cultural factors come into play too. The traditional playbook in Singapore has long been HDB to condo upgrades, but the current numbers are forcing a rethink. It's like, asking instead, how do I upgrade my net worth?
That's a very strategic shift. It's not just about owning a fancier home. It's about building long-term wealth and maintaining financial flexibility.
Precisely. It's all about aligning where your money is working for you. And with the high barriers in the private property market, like the down payment chaos, stamp duty, legal fees, and the ever-looming CPF refund, the whole upgrade path becomes less attractive for many households.
Now, I must say, while the liquidity trap is a huge challenge, some might argue that the property market also benefits from capital appreciation and long-term gains.
Yes, that's a fair point, but it's a double-edged sword. If property prices are rising so fast, you're required to have more liquidity to even enter the market, which becomes a barrier to realizing those gains.
Right, so it's like needing to be ahead of the curve, financially, to even catch up with the market. And if you miss that boat, well, you're kind of penalized by the system.
Exactly. And this scenario is getting more common in today's market. It underscores a crucial lesson. A solid income alone doesn't guarantee financial mobility if your liquidity planning isn't spot on.
It really calls for a complete reevaluation of traditional property upgrading strategies. Perhaps it's time for individuals to make a, more data-driven strategic decision rather than an emotional leap.
Yeah, instead of just following the traditional HDB then upgrade route, households need a clearer picture of whether that upgrade is financially viable when you consider all those hidden liquidity issues.
Makes you think, maybe upgrading shouldn't be the default goal. Instead, focusing on increasing your net worth through both real estate and diversified financial assets might be the smarter move.
Totally. And if you're considering a move in this market, it might be helpful to get a clear, data-driven assessment of your options. Everything from property progression strategies to alternative investment structures that work alongside real estate.
That makes a lot of sense. Balancing between securing asset appreciation and maintaining enough liquid capital seems to be the key to long-term financial success.
Absolutely. So the takeaway here is that while earning $12,000 a month is an achievement, the real challenge is ensuring that your financial structure, your savings discipline, liquidity planning, and investment diversification keeps pace with the rapid movement of the property market.
Yeah,